mayoral candidates. As you can see, we have all the 4 candidates in the state here. We're going to do a little bit of plans, a little bit of theatrics, and then when that's finished, we're going to turn it over to you all and let you talk to them and see about what you interest you tonight. And then when we're finished, we can take a little bit of time for you to meet with them in the back of the hall and talk to them anything that interests you that was not brought up in the meeting. So first of all, let me introduce our Pastor Greg, and he's going to do a benediction for us.
If you would, bow your heads. Father God, thank you for this day. First, we want to say thank you for this great city that we have. We're grateful for the peace that we have. We're grateful for the prosperity that's here in the city. And we want to say thank you for all the city officials and the workers and the business people and the schools that make this city what it is. We really are grateful. And we're also grateful, Lord, that we have a chance to relook at the vision of the city every 4 years and reevaluate the direction. And thank you that we have these candidates here who are going to do that. We ask grace that they may articulate their vision so that we can see it clearly and make our decisions. And also that they get over, it's a little nerve-wracking to be up here and to be on the spot, Father. So just ask that you have the grace to kind of work through this, and we'll be gracious to you. So thanks for everything. I ask these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right, you stand, please, and put your hand over your heart. And we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, since I did all the work of putting this thing together, I'm going to get a chance to ask the first question tonight. The question is, I'm going to, hang on a second, I forgot one thing. I realized that some of you may not know who these people are. And so I'm going to introduce a little bit for you. I apologize, I'm having a little bit of a problem with a neck problem, so I'm going to have to kind of walk up here. Microphone? Oh, can you hear me now? I'm sorry. This is L. David Patterson. He is one of the council people, and he's running now for mayor. And he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's a financial genius. He's been spending quite a bit of time on getting educated and licensed in real estate and so forth. And he's also been our previous treasurer for the city for a couple of terms. And so I want to make sure that he has introduced a few things that we might benefit from. Like, for example, you may have noticed on the website there's a 311 app. He did it. Okay, so so you can find things and report things necessary to yeah. And the gentleman next to him is I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Louisiana Aguilar. And he's therefore government for 10 years. Got interested in dog training. He's got a canine affair business over by the airport. and his family has been in the city since 1985, and he's a product of the school system. And not only that, he is now the president of the Hawthorne School Board, and we're sort of in his property at the moment. Thank you. And then we have Bill Williams. All right. Somebody knows. Okay, she's a businesswoman. I know her more as a neighborhood advocate, quite frankly. And she's been the chairperson of the Sept Valley School Oversight Committee and the advisory board for the housing department. And she's a business major, business management major, and she's had 2 children that have gone all the way through the school district or the school system here in Hawthorne. And then we have our incumbent mayor, Alex Vargas. Forever. 1971. The man has got some good stuff here. He's got some training in physics, and he's teaching over at he's teaching over at El Camino College, and as well as to the there's adult training school over at the county jail. And he's been on the Civil Service Commission for about 5 years, and he's let's see some of the other things that he makes, and he's a big supporter of our neighborhood organizations like Vermont neighborhood group, and he's already begun his second term, and I guess we're going to have to determine whether we want to keep it. So anyway, as I was about to say, what I'm going to do, since I'm going to ask what I'm going to do since I have the first question. No problem. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask one question is, and each person, I'm going to ask you, if you're elected, what is the primary thing that you want to do in this, if you get elected for this term? Okay? And we're going to start with Mr. Passion, and you work our way over the thing. You can address the information there on the microphone and come up if you want to bring it on.
Awesome. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. I appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity to speak.
He's got to answer the question.
So it's actually an important question. What do I plan on accomplishing in my first term as mayor if elected? The number one reason, or the number one thing that I plan to focus on is really economic development. Specifically bringing businesses into the city of Hawthorne, specifically bringing them down Hawthorne Boulevard. You know, you look at Hawthorne Boulevard and there's a lot of businesses on it, but not in Hawthorne, right? You start down at the 405 freeway and drive down Hawthorne Boulevard and you see a beautiful boulevard with a lot of businesses. And once you get to the edge of Hawthorne Boulevard in Mondale, you see a cluster of businesses. You see a mini Target, you see a Sprouts, Bossa Nova restaurant, a brewery, all that in Mondale. And then once you cross into Hawthorne, things just kind of change. When you cross out of Hawthorne, things pick up again. And so one of the things that I will absolutely do is continue the work that I've begun in building relationships with the business community. Going to conferences like ICSC, where I have an opportunity to meet developers, franchisers, business owners, and talk to them about our city, but more importantly, really making our city business friendly. You know, if anybody has ever tried to make an addition to their house, you see how hard it is just to get some permits pulled to do anything in our city. Imagine if you're trying to open up a business in our city. And so we can make sure that our business community understands that we're partners, that we need them, that we want them here, and that we put together incentives for them to come to our city. Cities can do almost anything to be attractive to a business. You look at Costco, we rebate 50% of the sales tax that we collect from them back to them. You look at the Home Depot development, we give them all of their property tax for 20 years. And so cities do a lot of stuff to let businesses feel welcome, and that's exactly what I plan to do, is to reward those that are creating jobs and that are bringing commerce into our city.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good evening. So what I'm trying to bring, the number one thing I'm trying to bring back to Hawthorne, the first thing I want to bring back is family values. We're losing our family values all over the country, and I want to start off with just trying to bring that back. Now, I also want to bring back a different mindset. Within our schools, we have an entrepreneurship class. And we know that not all kids are going to become entrepreneurs, but we want to teach them the entrepreneur, the mindset, right? So that's what I bring to the table, because as Bill said it, I am a business owner, I am a homeowner, I was raised in the community, I raised my kids in the community, I went to the schools, and my kids went to the same schools that raised me. I'm a military veteran. I have a nonprofit where I'm serving our veterans and Gold Star families, and I'm currently on my I think 12th year at the school district, and so my mentality is very different because I have so much stake in the game. Any decision that I make doesn't only affect you; it directly affects me as well. And so I want to change the way we do things. Right? As he stated, yes, the permits are a problem. I've tried doing things, and people get frustrated. They get frustrated because they feel like they're all alone and they're not able to accomplish everything. We talk about how friendly we are, but that's not, when you walk the streets, when you walk into a business, that's not what is being said. And so I want to change that, not by myself, but together. I want to create this family in our community that we can all grow and we can all prosper together and change Hawthorne. You know, bring it back to the days of if we could find a manufacturing company that wants to come into here. You know, the days of Northrop where everybody worked and played and spent their money inside of Hawthorne. I think it's achievable, but we have to start first within, build ourselves up, and nobody can do it alone. We have to do it together, and so that's what I want to bring to the table to Hawthorne. Thank you.
Good evening, wonderful good neighbors of Hawthorne. Liddell Williams here. I will be all the way different. I will be the first lady mayor to run this city. And I don't want to take it back, I want to bring it forward. I want to bring it forward with a convention center. A convention center is something that no other community has. And we would have jobs. We would have events that no other city will have. We're going to welcome those surrounding cities to our city. I would like to have more tech companies. If you notice, we're not getting any younger. We're getting a little older. And what we have to really rely on and put energy and entrepreneurship into is our millennial and Gen Z community. Because you have wonderful great-grandchildren, children. And so we want to bring them back to the community because they have graduated from our wonderful schools here. I am vice chairperson for the Centennial Oversight Committee, and we oversee the remodeling of Luzinger is looking wonderful. Hawthorne High is looking tremendous. I would like to continue. I can't say our city is so outdated because we have El Turo, and I thank El Turo for being here. I would like to sit on franchise boards because when people go into those franchises and obtain those franchises, they're looking for a wonderful city like the city of Hawthorne to come plant a from Corona, from San Bernardino, they would like to go out and eat if you don't feel like cooking. So let's have a place, a franchise place like Applebee's or any other franchise that another neighboring city don't have, because other cities around us is truly growing. Lennox is coming up. We're not worried about Inglewood. I would like to have the city of Hawthorne in the front line of the South Bay. And we do have mental health awareness and homeless awareness and programs, which are wonderful. But we do not have a mental health center for our veterans and for our homeless people to come and get back into the working community, because life is not over because you fall into endeavor times. We all fall into endeavor times. So me being First Lady, I have not waited until I'm elected, which I will be. I've already been in contact with Ms. Holly Mitchell's office about the mental health center and transportation. Our transportation is limited because the Gardena Transit does not run on the weekends, which is the most vulnerable time for us to get out and shop. And so you have to get off at our Crenshaw corridor and the Rosecrans corridor, and you have to walk from Doty to Cornblue, Eucalyptus. So I have requested for them to see if the link could operate in our corridors, Ceres, Lamoni. All of those corridors need transportation, so we won't have to carry our bags. Once again, join me making history. The First Lady, Liddell Williams for mayor. Thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you to Ramona Neighborhood Association, the hosts, and the moderators. I wanted to start off by telling you that Hawthorne is a great place right now. There is an economic success. Just last week, I signed paperwork for the contracts for our new City Hall facility, our new Civic Center. I just did that. That wouldn't have been possible if we didn't have the resources to the point where we can spend tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to do this. That's proof of our economic success. Another thing, since when I took the helm as mayor in 2015, we were at a low point. We were at $5 million in savings, when we should have had about $20 million in savings. Under my leadership and the cooperation of city councils, different makeups of the city council, of course, we reached the point where we are right now, where we have about $95 million in our reserves. That's an 1,800% increase. But let me establish something. There's a higher level where we can go. We can go further. We can go progress even further. And that hasn't been possible. And I want to establish one thing here, right now, at the beginning of this conversation, is that I have been in the minority on the city council. 1 against 4. And observers can recognize that, people who watch the meetings, and that's the fact. But as one person, I've been able to make enough noise to make it uncomfortable for those on the city council who might have other ideas, other funny business that they've been wanting to do. But there is more, and that's why there's different platforms, different group of ladies, a different group of council members that I'm asking you to support at the end of this. Marie Poindexter or Faye Johnson. We're of the same mindset, and one thing that you're going to see that's going to be different, and what stands in the way of this progress, is we have members on the city council who all they talk about is how do we increase our pay, how do we pad our pensions, and how do we increase the perks of the job. At least 10 or 11 times those conversations have been brought up, and by incumbents that are running in this election. So I think we need to be very careful, we need to be realistic. There's some things or people that do stand in the way of our being able to go to the next level. And that's what I want to talk to you further as we talk through this conversation.
All right, I've had my turn. Now it's your turn. Aha! There's one man going to be brave and going to put his hands up. Okay, Rob. Who do you want to ask? All of them? Oh my goodness. Look out, people.
It's a simple.
All right.
Good. question is a simple one. On the one of the propositions on the ballot here is Proposition 36, which would reveal the issues we have with the after effects of Proposition 47. I'd just like to know where you stand on Proposition 36, yea or nay. Thank you.
All right, Congressman, you want to go to the mayor? Mr. Mayor?
Can somebody explain what the proposition is for those of us?
You brought it up. You wanna- There you go.
Basically what it is, it repeals a lot of what was in Proposition 47. Oh, it repeals what was in Proposition 47.
And what is that?
Made the threshold, which made the threshold of the stolen property at $945, I believe. And so this would repeal that proposition that was passed in 2014.
One other thing I might bring up, if you look in your, if you check with the county library, they are having a video thing that explains all of the various measures that are going to be on the ballot in detail. So if you sign up for that video, they will probably learn a heck of a lot. Okay, so the question arises, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but we appreciate it if you.
It's a yes. If I answer your question directly, but I think you want more than that. Why do I support it enthusiastically? Proposition 47 should have never taken place. We should have never relaxed the penalties for a lot of the infractions that are out there. I work in a jail. I work with deputies. I work with police officers. I work in a jail teaching adult inmates math and science to give them a second chance so they could show to court that they're changing their lives. When they get out there, that they can compete in the job market. But as a teacher, I have these students that are sitting in front of me laughing, mentioning, invoking Proposition 47, talking about how their sentences are lighter, how they could get away with this, how they could maneuver through the system in front of me, as if they want me to hear that, as if they're celebrating. So that's spitting on the face of society and good, honest residents and citizens of this country like you guys. So I wholeheartedly support Proposition 36. And as part of my discussions with the police department, our police association, I told them, and they know, they didn't even have the question, but they knew that I supported Proposition 36. And that's why our Police Officers Association is endorsing me and the two young ladies that I mentioned to you.
Well, Proposition 47 and 36 is a record. That's really why I support on having mental health centers to prepare these people when they get ready to come back into the regular population. They will be able to function and be comfortable in this society, because it takes work and they're going to be hesitant because of the trauma and tribulations that they had to endure. So yes, I am for Prop 36.
As a former federal law enforcement officer, I've had to arrest people for shoplifting and stealing and breaking into homes. So I am definitely, it should have never came up. The $950. I mean, just here at the Dollar Tree, every morning we have the homeless running in there, stealing, and then coming out. And the Dollar Tree manager says that the police won't even come, because what are they going to do? They can't do anything. So we've tied our law enforcement's hands. So that's it has to go away. I'm in 100% support of it going away. Now, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by hearing endorsement this, endorsement that. Okay? Because you have to understand that some people, this political game, I was told not to run because this game is evil. I'm going to be up against evil. So these police officers, they have to protect their members. right? Because when we talk about, let's talk about how city council works. You have 5 members that the community elects to come together, 5 strangers that come together and try to create change. It's the same on the school board. Me as the president, I don't have any more power than any other of my board members, except for I run the meeting. It's the same thing on city council. So when you talk about bringing 3 individuals that are together in the same mindset, do you really think it's going to go your way? That's why we elect 5 strangers. We elect 5 strangers that come from different communities. I think that some of the reasons why, so I stand alone. I'm nonpartisan. I don't belong to a party. I haven't taken any endorsements. I've gotten support, but I have not taken any endorsement. Because I want to come into this, I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and make decisions that benefit our community. Like this. There has to be a way that we could do something, right, about the thieves. Because how many people have been pulled over and you say something, now you got another charge. So maybe you don't get charged for being under 950, but they can tack on other things, right? Anything to clean up our cities. We have to show some type of enforcement. We have to show some type of consequence, and we can't just blame the state. We have to figure out ways. There's things that are happening in other communities. They're not going to Manhattan Beach and running out like they are here. And so why aren't we talking to our leaders over in Manhattan Beach and other neighboring cities to see what they're doing? Hey, what worked? What failed? So this way we can decide for ourselves here. We can go to our community and ask them, hey, do you approve of this? And if you approve of it, let's move forward with it. And let's make our city much safer, not just for us, but for our kids. Our kids can't even walk to Hawthorne Boulevard anymore because of how dangerous it is out there. So we need to create change, and we need to get rid of Proposition 47. So I'm all about getting rid of it. So thank you.
Good evening. So to be honest, I haven't read the proposition, and so I won't say that I'm for or against something I haven't read, but I do support stiffer penalties for those that are out just smashing, grabbing, and walking out with merchandise. I think that there should be a lower threshold for felony theft. But more than that, though, I believe that as leaders of the city of Hawthorne, we need to make sure that we hold our police accountable, that make sure that they're protecting our city, that they're present throughout the city. Of course, we need to make sure that they're properly funded. There's enough officers to have a presence throughout the community, so that people who are doing what they're not supposed to be doing are diverted, right, from taking those types of actions. One of the reasons why I made sure we increased the funding to our prosecution department when we were putting together our budget for the city of Hawthorne. Now, a lot of people may not know, we prosecute our own misdemeanors. So whatever that threshold is for felonies, anything that's a misdemeanor, we prosecute those. We make the decision if we're going to, how stiff of punishments. Now, we don't make the punishments, but our prosecutor does, our city attorney does. And he takes our direction as to how important is this to our city. And so I make sure we beefed up that funding to our prosecution department so they're better equipped to investigate these incidences, and then they can go ahead and punish those that are bringing this type of crime to our community. And of course, we need to make sure that our police department is working hand in hand with our prosecution department and going after these criminals. There's no excuse, right, for letting crime run rapid throughout our community. Our police department makes up 50% of our budget. Our prosecution department is well funded. They need our direction from the council and our support to go out and do their job and make sure that they're keeping our streets safe.
Okay, so we got 2 questions on our agenda. Who cares to take the next one? Of course.
Hello, everyone. Gordon Michael Eagle, native and resident of Hawthorne since October the 8th, 1952. This is for all the candidates. In order for the downtown area of Hawthorne to be a vibrant and dynamic,
Bring it up to the front so we can see.
oh, okay. Do you want me to stand behind the podium?
No.
Okay. You want to start over?
Please.
In order for the downtown area of Hawthorne to be a vibrant and dynamic destination point in the South Bay region and beyond, we need to revitalize the mall into a place to shop, dine, entertain, amongst many other things. Will you work towards making it become a reality, which will create hundreds of jobs, both permanent and temporary construction work as well, and generate millions of dollars of revenue for the city of Hawthorne, of which it could be potentially $10 million per year sales tax revenue, amongst other tax revenue that we generate.
All right. We started over here last time. You want to start with me? Okay, go for it.
Absolutely. It wasn't until I jumped on the council until we started taking some meaningful action towards doing something with that mall. Do you guys know that mall owner was making $4 to $5 million a year on it being closed for a decade? Not a decade, but for years. So he bought it for about $20 million 25 years ago. It was making $2 million a year from the county, about $2 million a year from SpaceX, Amazon, Tesla, parking cars and parking structure. And then it was renting out the inside for movies. It wasn't until I joined the council and fought to replace our city attorney, and we lucky enough, we inherited a new city attorney that is not afraid to fight. Did we remove their business license, right, and stop their ability to make money at that space? And then, of course, now our city attorney has initiated litigation towards the mall owner. So we're hoping to create enough pain to force a sale there. But the point of the matter is leadership matters, right? As you have people that are part of the council, are leading the council, that understand business, or understand real estate, that understand organizational development, we can hire the right people at City Hall that's going to go out and do the work for us, for all of us, to bring projects to our community. And I think there's no reason why that space has been like this for 25 years. There's always an option. This mall owner owns a lot of properties throughout the country. And other cities have been able to do deals with this mall owner, this particular owner. Other cities have been able to figure things out with this particular owner. There's no reason why we can't find a solution ourselves.
The mall is a sore subject. Every campaign season, everyone's talking about the mall. But at the same time, we can't give up, right? And so it's one of the things you learn having a business is that you might fail once, you might fail twice, you might fail 15 times, but you might get it right the 16th or the 17th time. So we have to figure out a way. We have to try to find out why he's not willing to work with us. Is it the dynamic that's there? What is it? We don't know. I haven't been in those conversations, but I will tell you this. I have been at the table with some people that would love to do something with it, but they need to figure out how to entice the mall owner. He's in prison right now, right? And so that's another dynamic that they have to deal with. And so we're hoping, everyone's hoping, everybody wants that mall to change, and there's other properties that everybody wants to change. But unless people are willing to come to the table and talk, and really do some negotiating, common sense, conversations, then nothing's going to happen. We're going to be stuck where we're at. You know, it's. I mean, I haven't been on city council for 15 years or 4 years. I'm on the school board, so I don't understand the dynamic of what's going on there. So I can't really talk to you about what I'm going to do with it. However, I will tell you this: I promise you that I will try, and I will keep trying until I figure something out. Thank you.
I'm a businesswoman. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay? When I'm elected, I want to really push our city attorney to finish the litigation that's going on with this mogul. He's a mogul. Even if he's in jail, it doesn't matter. He still got family members. They have property right down Exposition and Crenshaw. It's a flat land. They can't do nothing. Once you see that someone has been indicted, investors from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all them investors, they do not want to invest with you no more. Why would you invest with your money with someone that has been indicted? So I'm depending, when I take office as the first lady of mayor for the city of Hawthorne, I want my city attorney to really even pull in another attorney, if necessary, to help get this property from these people. It has not been a sword, it's been a thorn. A thorn hurts more than then it becomes a sword. It has been a thorn to the city of Hawthorne. And what I would like to do, a convention center. A convention center where we could have a women's organization convention, where we could have a men organization convention. A convention center would bring so much revenue and jobs to our people. I mean, we've got companies to come in, and I work in an industry, contemporary service industry. I work around NFL. I see Mr. Steve Ballmer. I see the owner that's part owner for SoFi, for the new Intuit Dome. I was just there last night working the Usher concert, and I continue working there. And I want to speak with them. It's even Hollow. Hollow is in partnership at the Intuit Dome. I would like to invite them to our community, and the NFL community. I would like to invite them to our committee and hold their conventions right here in the city of Hawthorne, when we get the first Hawthorne Convention Center. It's going to be phenomenal. Please vote Liddell Williams.
About the year 2000 is when all the stores shut down at the Hawthorne Mall. You guys remember that, right? So I grew up going there. It's very present in my memories. But just want to let you know, the fact that the guy's in prison, the owner of the Hawthorne Mall, Armin Bay, just tells you a lot of who we're dealing with. Okay, he's brought 5 iterations of plans for the Hawthorne Mall. I have them. If anybody wants to see them, I have them so you can see. But there was a time where the city council back then said, no, we can't have 2,000 apartments and that's it. We can't just give in and just to have a development. He was going to do that. And there was people on city council at that moment and in recent times that said, that's good enough. But luckily on that issue, there were enough people that pushed back and said, no. We're going to wait until we get what the residents have been asking for. Shopping, dining, and businesses that are going to be bringing point of sales tax base to the city of Hawthorne. Everybody complains about, hey, we have to go to Torrance to be able to go celebrate a birthday, or Manhattan Beach, or Redondo Beach. Right? We hear that all the time. But I'm not going to just relent just to have something in there, just because just one person says that. Oh, it criticizes us. I'm going to hold the line until we get what the residents want. But despite that, this is the type of person that we're dealing with. The most recent plans that he had almost guaranteed us that he was going to give us that. And this proceeded to the members that are on the current council right now, where we signed paperwork where we were going to get a outlet mall. You guys remember, we signed that off. An outlet mall along with some business offices and since it doesn't pencil out for a developer, we compromised and said that, hey, 600 units, right? Even I gave in to that. But no, this gentleman only gave us that plan so that he could push his real plan, which is to land bank that for the sake of his children. He has told us that before. When he has gotten mad, you know what, I'm just going to land bank this for my kids. This and that. Because we are not giving in just to anything that he's presenting to us. But he never broke ground for that plan. And a year later, or 2 years later, he was in federal prison, in federal court on bribery charges. That's the type of person that we're dealing with. So, yes, the city attorney currently, the effort that he has is one that preceded one of the gentlemen up here who joined the council 4 years ago, with the previous city attorney. Okay? That person was let go by the majority for other reasons. So we already started that process even before. So I just want to set the record straight. But it's been a joint effort, the five of us that have pushed and said, we're going to take this guy to court and force him to sell this thing because he's not going to just hold his residents and the city of Hawthorne hostage. We need somebody that's going to be serious about developing and giving the community what they want. And we're just simply tired. So I'm glad that our city council has come together on that issue. And there's a lot of work to be done in court.
All right, who's next? Gentleman right here.
I got a loud voice on this microphone. All right. My question's for Mayor Vargas. The three individuals next to you have bought great plans to bring Hawthorne Boulevard back and to bring further business here. You had 2 terms already to do it, and I've seen nothing done since I've lived here. I understand working for a city, it does take time to get the ball rolling on certain funding of projects, but the Hawthorne law itself has been the biggest issue, as you guys just discussed. I live right there next to it. Homeless takes place. We've almost been broken into a few times, and they all end up being arrested right there. I understand it's a work in progress, but what's going to be the change on this 3rd term if you do get reelected? Because there's 3 other candidates right there that have great plans to bring not only private business, but also other government business such as mental health or for veterans. But what are you going to do different this 3rd term that you couldn't get done the last 2 terms?
First of all, we didn't receive the rules for this campaign form, so a question targeting an individual candidate, I don't know. I wish we could rephrase that and apply it to the rest of the council, mayoral candidates.
We will.
Here. Okay, so that'll be up to you. No, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
That's fine.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Because I'll repeat it once again, I've been in the minority. 1 person against 4. I've made enough noise to prevent corruption from happening on the city council. I made enough noise to prevent us coming out in the newspaper. Since 2015, I've helped by keeping the council together and keeping the city staff with enough pep to be able to balance the budget and take us from $5 million up to $90 million. Okay? So those are the things that I have done. But to progress, like you're asking me, I've been in the minority. I have to repeat that again. Against 4. And when I have council members up here, including some of the incumbents that are running against me and in the city council race, talking about how to increase your pay, how to change to a charter city so we can give ourselves $80,000 a year, $75,000 a year, how to increase our pensions, how to be able to get more funds to be able to travel around the country. There's only so much I can do as an individual. So thank you for bringing that up, and that's why I'm asking you to help elect a different majority, a different group that has different thoughts than we currently have, so we can move forward like you're asking. Marie Poindexter and Faye Johnson.
Adjusting the thing. Would you address that, please? Thank you.
I'm the new guy, right? So both I and Mrs. Williams, and so we haven't been on city council, and so we the question wasn't directed towards us, but you know, just to bring light again, I will keep preaching this. It is very dangerous to elect one person that's saying you have to elect a new majority. It's very, very dangerous, right? So you want change? It should come from people from different parts of the community that were elected by us, not by a person telling you to please give me the majority. It's very dangerous to do that, okay? I've been walking the businesses, and I've been asking, you know, how they feel. Because I know how I feel as a business owner. And so we started talking about creating a collaborative or a team. So this way we can support each other, and we can grow, and we can send people to Hawthorne businesses. That's what I've done with my campaign. My campaign, I said I was going to support my community, and that's what I've been doing. When I have a meet and greet and I ask for food, I tell them, you charge me for that. Charge me what you're going to charge me for, because that is why I'm raising money to support you. It's what I'm going to do should I get elected. When I get elected and I'm in the seat, I'm going to continue to support our small businesses. I want to bring in new businesses. But me, as a business owner, if somebody asks me, hey, do you want to come? You know what? Right now, it's not a good time. Right now, it's really hard to get in. People are, it's taking businesses 2 years to open. Who can afford rent for 2 years? You know, and you're seeing it also in the flipping of the homes. Why is Hermosa Beach approving permits in 3 weeks, but it takes our people a year and a half? And that's not me saying it, because I don't flip homes. That's people that are in the business that are saying that I don't think I want to work with Hawthorne anymore. I have to pay a security guard so I don't get squatters in my building, in my home, right? And that home is actually up the street from here. So I do want to bring a different mindset. But again, I want to caution you, be careful. Be careful, especially when they're being so open about it. Give me my people. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It should be from different walks of life, from different people that we elect, that aren't coming together and saying we're a team. Elect us because we're a team. That just, to me, that just looks very bad. Thank you.
I'm going to answer that. I just reserve the right to respond to that, only because the rules of this campaign forum were laid out correctly.
Oh.
It's just targeting individuals. Those questions should have been to each one of us. And I am kind of disappointed, but regardless, I'm going to respond to that. All right. I'm going to lay things out very clearly for you. One of the persons up on this stage was recruited to run in this race to take away votes from me so that another person on this stage could make it through based on whatever you think, okay? Obviously, that person's supporters are the ones laughing, and that's fine,
That's low.
okay?
That's not.
So,
That is.
absolutely, you guys all know that. But to say that, give me a new majority, when you have somebody that's being recruited to be able to, that same person is being endorsed or supported by former Mayor Larry Guidi, and we all know what he did to put him in jail. That person is being supported by Danny Juarez, and we know what he did. Okay, so those are the types of people, and that's the type of support, and that's the type of advice you're going to be getting if you elect one of these other gentlemen on this board. And plus, I want to relay a message from our Hawthorne Police Association that they're very disappointed with the comments that were laid out by one of the candidates up here. To suggest that they would be making a decision based on corruption is offensive to them. So I think we need to be very careful with the types of comments that we made up here.
I stand alone. We all don't read the same scriptures. We may pray together, but I read Proverbs 26 today. Every different day, I read a different scripture from Proverbs. And once again, I'm going to be the first fresh start, a female. I don't want nobody else on my ticket because I don't know what your demeanor is. I don't know what, when you get in office, what you going to do. And if you're already there, you done had your chance. And if you ain't did it in 2 terms, what do you need a 3rd term for? Give somebody else a fresh start. Ain't nobody coerce me. I ran before in 2009. LaBelle Williams ran for city council. I own my own business. Big Lisa's Beauty Supply on Lamoni and Rosecrans across from Fabulous Burgers. Me and my 2 children. And I am elated that my 2 children went to Lucy. One went to Lucinda, one went to Hawthorne High. Graduated, bachelor's degree. I am so proud that they are even coming back to this community. Just like I would like to bring and welcome in welding companies, tech companies, engineering companies, because those are the things that our children graduated from. Every one of them didn't go to high school, didn't enter into college, but they still have some type of intellect. Just like Hawthorne High has an engineering department, a welding department. They have learned something from those categories. And we have got to set standards and welcome them back into this community to open up their own business. Yes, if the Hawthorne Mall would have been a Walmart, which our past city manager didn't want it, we wouldn't have that problem, I think, today, because I'm quite sure a lot of us still shop at Walmart and not just the neighborhood market, because it don't have a lot of things. You're only limited. But if it would have been a super Walmart, I think that our community wouldn't see this. Come on. Let's do something different. Vote for a change. And believe me, I don't stand alone. I stand with each and every one of you, being the first lady for the city of Hawthorne, Maine. Thank you.
I guess I get to answer the comments. I'm sorry. Did you want to go first? Okay. So. Absolutely. And so I get it. I understand. But let's be clear that I'm not up here saying that the police are corrupt. Okay. I went into that meeting with them, telling their leadership that, listen, I understand that everyone goes with the incumbent. I'm not asking. I want you to get to know me. The reason why I said be careful about listening to that is there's 2 seats for city council. They endorse the incumbent, and the mayor incumbent's too slick. So what does that tell you? When people, it just waters it down. The endorsement is kind of, okay, what's happening? What's going on? What's happening that they went and endorsed 3 people for two seats? So that's where I'm coming from. I'm just calling it out. I love the police department. I have friends that I grew up with that are on the police department. But I understand how politics work, because remember, I was told early on that I was going to be encountering evil. Okay? I already said that, right? So I know what the game is, which is why I never went and asked anybody for an endorsement, because I didn't want them to have to pick a side. I asked you, if you want to support me, write a testimonial. Put it on my website so people can read about me. I'm the only one that has testimonials of people talking about my character. I encourage you to visit the website so you guys can see the types of things that people have said. It was humbling to me what people thought of me. People came from 30, 40 years ago to say their experiences with me, right? So when I'm up here, nobody told me. I served my country. So I have a perspective. I had kids. Got another perspective. Started a business. Had another perspective. Bought a home. Got more insight. Got on the school board. Got even more insight. Then I did my brick and mortar, and I went from being mobile to now being in brick and mortar, and got even more. That is why I'm standing here today. Nobody told me to run. And yes, Woody has come up to me, and he said and why he came up to me? He came up to me at Pizza Show, and he said, everybody's calling me for endorsement. You haven't called me, but I came here because I want to know, how did you get Pizza Show to support you? Because my banner's on Pizza Show. I've been coming here with my wife. We were kids. We've been coming here since we were kids, and I've supported them forever. No, there's something about you. I worked there during high school, and when I asked them to support me for my mayoral campaign, they said no, we don't get into politics. Why the hell did they support you? I don't know what to tell you. That's how I got his support. Thank you.
Everything goes. One of my ideas when it comes to bringing businesses to the city is taking some of the monies that we do have to invest in business incentives. And speaking of that large amount of money that we have, what we have to do with that money is invest it in opportunities to bring in more revenue, bring in more tax base. Because that money hasn't come from an expanded tax base. It came from a lot of windfalls throughout the course of the years. Councilmember Montero worked with our finance department to kind of increase our bond rating, so we were able to refinance the bonds and save our city $8 million a year. The pandemic hit, and the federal government gave us $30 million that we got to use to kind of pay our bills. And then people stopped leaving the city to go shop outside the city and start shopping on Amazon even more. And so our Amazon tax revenue went up. Right? And even in 2020, the city manager at the time had tightened our budget, expecting things to go poorly, and it didn't, with a $10 million surplus. We sold our property across the street from City Hall for 50 cents on the dollar and pocketed another $7 million. And so we've got a lot of kind of one-off monies over the years. Hadn't given any of our employees raises in forever until I jumped onto the council. I had to fight against people on the council to give our employees raises and give our police department raises. But we have some money in the bank, and we need to invest that in opportunities to bring in more revenue, right? And of course, we can invest it into our community and making sure, like, what's the use of having the money? It's your money, right? And going on a little bit of a tangent, we need to include our community in our budgeting process, right? So you guys can answer that question of what should we do with the surplus? How should we invest this money? Do you want us to have it invested in community programs and rental assistance, and business assistance, or in bringing new businesses to our city? And so we can work together collaboratively as a community, right, to move our city forward.
Well, wait a minute. We're going to go back here, if you don't mind. Lady right there. Can you come up?
Okay. I haven't been in front of this stage in like 20 years. When I was like this tall. Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Anna Canada. I live in Canada. I lived in Hawthorne for over 30 years. I'm a proud product K-12 of the Hawthorne School District. I really appreciated the gentleman's question earlier because it spoke to what I think is one of the important issues, not just in this race, but in previous elections, and that is restoring trust in government. When I read about my hometown, I want to read about positive stories, and that just isn't the case in Cincinnati. I'm tired of hearing about the mall. I'm tired of talking about the abandoned hospital. I'm tired of hearing about the chief executive that's threatening to leave and take away our largest employer. I want to hear good stories. So my question for all of the candidates is, what is your plan to restore trust in government so that people here who live in Hawthorne are proud to be from here, but trust that you're making decisions that benefit all the residents who live there.
Well, you don't want to do that. Yeah, she was asking all of you, so we'll start with Zim. You don't mind? Start with the other end. Go for it.
Yeah, maybe we could just stagger or something. But no, this
You
is
want
a.
to stay?
Thank you, Miss, for asking this question. It's extremely important. Restoring trust in government is something that I've been focusing on by doing things right. Since I've been on as mayor since 2015, it's been 2 terms. But look at all the things we've done to steer us. It's like a train that's going in a direction and trying to turn it around in the opposite direction. With all the times that we used to come out in the news, people stealing food mixers, people getting in trouble for taking donations to charity funds and pocketing the money. People also, previous mayors, getting in trouble for not paying their rent, for skipping their rent and being evicted three times, and exorbitant and flying across the country and the city's dying. All those things are right. We used to come out for those things. So it's a train going in a specific direction, and you're right. You haven't heard us in the news for something negative since I've been mayor. And find an article that we have come up out in the news that proves me different. And that's been my emphasis, to make sure that we change that, and to be able to work with the rest of the city council to, like you said, develop trust, changing the image of Hawthorne, and that's something that takes time. People coming and investing. People are knocking at our doors trying to open up businesses. We've expedited the application processes, the permitting process, the inspection processes, as I mentioned, planning review. We've hired the necessary personnel to be able to get that job accomplished because of those reasons, so that we can have people saying different things out of the community. We've increased our customer service at the cashier's office, at the different departments. We've sent them to trainings so that they engage in customer service, so people feel that when they come to the counters, they're getting something out of their visit and not wasting their time. That's been happening. And as an advocate, I've talked to developers. I've made sure that we've talked to the different agents out there who want to open up shop. We're a built-out city. There's not a lot of opportunities. But the Hawthorne Mall is one. And this is not just an Alex Vargas thing. This is a whole city council, including the current incumbent and 3 other people. We've all joined together to be able to fight against the owner of the Hawthorne Mall. We all know how difficult it is to be able to take somebody on in court. That's why our current city attorney is taking testimonies from the people that live around the Hawthorne Mall. So the gentleman over here, if he needs that information, he could add his name and his comments to the testimony. We need testimony from the community to be able to convince the judge that this person just needs to sell, or he's going to have to relinquish the property up into the market outside of his own control. So we're working very hard to make things happen. Okay, and just doing what I do, respect my city council, and make sure that I give them the opportunity to come up with ideas and foster those ideas with our city council. So yes, there's a lot of work.
So yeah, how do we bring trust to government? I would say it definitely starts with how the council treats each other. It definitely starts with the culture at City Hall, and that definitely starts at the top. You know, I believe that there's really 3 things that can help with our image and our relationship with the community. There's going to be collaboration on the City Hall, on the City Council. There's going to be progress. We need to come together and actually make things happen. We won't always agree. That's the part of the process, where we're supposed to come together and compromise for the good of the city and move things forward. Nobody should have their way all the time. None of us are perfect. And then we also need to increase our communication with the public. A lot of times, those in our community don't know what's happening at City Hall. They don't know, what we're discussing, what we're working on. And a lot of times us at City Hall, we don't know what you're experiencing out in the community. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I introduced the 311 app, so that our community can be empowered to report things that are going on, things that they're seeing, whether it be illegal dumping, criminal activity, homeless encampments. But more than that two-way communication, right, there needs to be some honest working with each other on the city council. And it takes leadership. And one thing that I've had opportunity to learn as a councilman is really how to work together with a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities. So I'll be honest with you, when I first joined the council, that's not something that was my expertise. Right? I'm a nerd. I go to school. I pick up a bunch of licenses and a bunch of degrees, and I'm used to kind of being smart and having ideas. And it was a rude awakening to realize that the best idea does not win. Right, at City Hall, the best idea doesn't win on the City Council. It requires somebody to be able to collaborate with other people, to win other people to your side, to build relationships and mutual respect, which happens over time in order to move things forward. But unfortunately, that's not been the culture of our City Council. Unfortunately, there's a lot of name calling, a lot of personal attacks, and that's not what moves things forward. I don't need anybody special to be elected on this November onto the City Council. For me to be able to build a relationship with them, for me to be able to collaborate with them, for me to be able to kind of inspire a spirit of community and collaboration in order to meet the same goals that we all have. We all know that we need businesses in our city. Like, it's not new. We all know we need to do something about our homeless issue. We all know we need to do something with the safety in our streets. And so, since we all know what the problems are, why aren't they being solved? And it's because 5 people aren't able to get together consistently enough to move things forward. There's a lot of division that's happening. There's a lot of negative energy. And as we kind of purge our city from the old way of doing things and start moving to a new direction, we'll see growth in our city.
Stir away from your question, because your question to the candidates was very important. And you seem like that you are a millennial and a Gen Z incumbent, come from that area. And what I would like to do, I would like to enforce having more town hall meetings, because your opinion counts, and being transparent, listening from you. All of us have had different subjects and been traveling in different places. It needs to come together and bring to the city to let us know what you would like to see happen right here in your community. It's very important. And that is a point of being transparent. Now, to be fresh on this city council, you can't look for me to argue or you're going to have, everybody has a different meaning of their minds. That's what brings things together. But you as voters, you have the power to bring change to our community. You're hearing the questions. You're hearing the answers. We need change. Vote for a change. It's very important, because as we have town hall meeting, you'll go, that sounds good. This person has been somewhere. Maybe we need to implement that right here in our community. It's very important. We all need a new direction here in the city of Hawthorne. And you have the power, November the 5th, vote. You done been there so many years. Sitting in that one seat, you can get too comfortable and you get stuck. You get real stubborn and don't want to listen to others. You want to reach out in the wrong way and come in the wrong way to others. We all have freedom of speech. We all have the power to make a change here in our city of Hawthorne. Please, November 5th, as you go to those polls, think about some things. Say, I want to change here in the city of Hawthorne. Vote LaBelle Williams, first woman mayor for the city of Hawthorne. Thank you.
Very good question. How do we bring trust back? It's one of the reasons why I'm standing on this stage, is because I feel like you. But I'm running with my family. My campaign managers, my wife and my daughter. My volunteer for, the person in charge of the volunteers is my sister. My dad is putting up signs. I'm sorry if he dropped one of yours. He's 82. So my brother's in the back supporting me. So I have my family here. My family's here. They believe in me. The country's believed in me. They've sent me all over this world to build teams, to create communities. I found out 3 weeks ago that, and it's not a source. It's a hard thing for me to talk about. But I found out 3 weeks ago that because of the efforts that we made, there's 3 gentlemen that are alive today because of what we did for them in their country. I had no idea. I found out 27 years later. We did the math. We looked at maps. And I've been struggling through that. But I would do it all over again. I'm standing up here, even after people told me that I shouldn't do it. I'm standing up here because I believe in Hawthorne. My dad came to Hawthorne because he believed in Hawthorne. We grew up on Cordary and 130th, over by Sears Lumber. That area used to look like Ramona neighborhood. I don't want to lose what our city is. We're losing our identity. It happened once already. We're losing our identity, and we need to bring it back. We're all frustrated. And I think that if we, like I said earlier, if we bring family values back to the table, if I'm doing everything because I want my family to benefit, well, guess who else benefits? You benefit as well. And I don't want my kids to look at me and say, my dad's evil, or my dad took this, took that. I'm still trying to be that example for them because I want them to be great citizens as well, and they are. My daughter also helps me run a service dog program where we teach high school kids how to train the service dogs for veterans. She's giving back. She grew up giving back. All my kids did. They know nothing else but to serve. That is what I bring to the table. So when you say, how am I going to bring trust? I've already been doing it. It's not something that I'm just now all of a sudden I'm on a stage telling you. I've been doing this my whole life, a lifetime. Because I started when I turned 18 years old and I joined the Air Force. Thank you.
All right. Let me see. I don't want to get anybody here that's already had a chance. Gentleman here hasn't. Nope. I'll step up here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jose. Well, I'm the neighbor of Hawthorne for about almost 40 years. I know Mr. Luciano a long time, and his family, and I love him. My question is, since maybe 30 years ago, I ever seen that many homeless around here, around everywhere in Hawthorne. My question is, do you guys planning to do something about that? That's my question, right? Because used to be a really, really nice neighborhood around here. My kids came to this school in the high school in Lucinger. And actually, I'm disappointed a little bit because the neighborhood is changing really too much with the homeless. I don't have nothing against the homeless, I want to help them. But I need the help from them. That's my question. What you gonna do about it?
Thank you for that question. You know, two of our council members have come up with some great ideas and initiatives to help the homeless. Councilmember Montero and Councilmember Reyes English. You know, I'll be honest, I know a lot about finance and business and all that stuff, but I don't know everything about everything. And it's the reason why working together as a team is valuable, because everybody's going to bring something different to the table. And so those two council members I just named, they've brought a lot of initiatives to City Hall and to our City Council to address our homelessness issue and help the homeless in our city. And what we need to do is invest more aggressively into those programs. We have a pallet shelter program in the city where we provide temporary housing up to, I think it's 60 days, up to 6 months, while we help get them into permanent supportive housing. Where we also have a homeless coordinator, and we have individuals that go out to the community and offer services to the homeless on a weekly basis. And there's a lot of different county programs that we offer them. We offer them mental health counseling. We offer them, like I said, permanent supportive housing options. And so we need to ratchet that up, right? We need to take that much more seriously. Not everybody wants to take the services. So, you know, for those, we need to have a different approach. You know, we need to make sure they're not comfortable with just, you know, being around the community in ways that doesn't serve everybody. And that's why where our police come into play and kind of helping out in that respect. But for the most part, you know, if we provide opportunities for people to get off the street, they don't take advantage of it. Provide opportunities for people to get help with their substance abuse issues, they don't take advantage of it. We can only do as much as those programs are funded for. And so those do need to be funded more aggressively, right? So we can do more for the unhoused population in City Hall.
Yes, sir. Homeless is all around the world. And we as a community definitely must implement a lot of things. First of all, a lot of things has been implemented. If you could read on the neighborhood page, it'll show how Hawthorne has implemented a lot of things. And they have been housed. With the climate here in California, some people just choose to not have shelter. We could offer shelter to them, in which we must. And we could offer food programs. Mental health programs is needed as well. Some of them just don't want it. So what we have to do is we have to go and have a mental health center for them. Educate them. You put them in a hotel, you go back and do a wellness check on them, they're not there. That's where the mental situation comes in. They're not comfortable. They feel closed into a dwelling like you and I are used to living in. What can we do about that? I would say have an area where they could set up camp. Because as other cities are pulling up their encampment, it's lured them to another place. They just want to move around. And so if we designate a place where they'll feel comfortable at, because some of these homeless people, I talked to one person on Imperial and Ramona, he said, I used to live in this community. This is my community. That's the reason why I want to come here in my community and just set up my tent. Well, true enough, we're uncomfortable with them stepping up there and camping along the sidewalks and everything. But they say, this is my community. I lived here. The rent went up too much. And I gave up, which we should never give up. We never give up. That's the thing. That's the reason why people come into suicide. I had a friend commit suicide. They felt their back was against the wall. We have programs to help them fill out the application. Some of them say it's asking too many questions. I don't understand the literacy of the questions that they're asking on the application. They just get discouraged. We must keep them encouraged encouraged. And that's why I feel through more programs, and I will go to Sacramento to keep them pushing those programs and funding our way to the city of Hawthorne, because they pulling them up from their encampment around the Los Angeles surrounding areas. And they're finding comfort ground here because the city of Hawthorne is a wonderful community. It's a wonderful community. But you have people that have already lived here and lost their dwelling due to income. And I feel that a lot of dwellings and rent should be based on your income. And we should have a comfort place for them and assist them with filling out these applications, because you get discouraged too much. And I say, people, never give up. Never give up. There is a program out there for you.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you for bringing this question. I understand your concern. It's a concern for the whole of Hawthorne. Everybody's been talking about it, and it's been going on for 5, 6, 7 years, and it's been going on. It's been noticeable for about 5, 6, 7 years economically. Our state and all its economical difficulty that there is living here in the state. But I'm happy to let you know and kind of summarizing some of the things I've heard. The City of Hawthorne does have a homeless task force. A homeless task force that consists of our code enforcement, mental health experts, our police, and other city staff that goes out and helps those individuals that are out in the community pitching their tents in different locations. Okay. So also one of the noticeable impacts of that program has been that there has been a decline from the mid 200s in our last homeless counts down to the mid hundreds. So that's a decrease that's been happening thanks to our efforts. So that's a plume that we can put on our hats as city council. Okay, but I still want to let you guys know that there's still room for improvement. But the thing is, by offering all the services that we've been having, we can't tell if our consistent numbers or the remaining numbers are because we're offering services and we're attracting people to the services that we have here in the city of Hawthorne, or if it's Hawthorne residents that have lost their homes and are here homeless and need help. That's why I've been insistent and asking to try to get some of that demographic data to tell us how many of these people are from the city of Hawthorne. Because as mayor, as an elected official, my obligation is to the residents of Hawthorne. The residents of Hawthorne need to be taken care of. How many times have you seen, maybe heard, or you have seen or heard people defecating in public? People going into people's lawns, using their hoses to wash up and getting naked in order to do that. Pitching their tents like right in front of almost at the exit to your house. So my obligation is to Hawthorne's residents. And magically now our governor says, oh, you cities need to do something. Well, we've been crying as a city, as a council, to the state. Give us the power and give us the leverage, give us the laws, and take apart those laws that prohibit us and tie our hands as a city and a city police force and an enforcement agency to be able to move these people along or provide them shelter. Okay? So we have a pallet shelter that's over here on the east side of the Community Gardens. And I guess it's unfair to the specific corners of our city that there's a concentration of these types of high density and that we place these here. So I'd be in favor of locating other pallet shelters throughout the city. But do we need to? Do we need to? Do we need to? These are not Hawthorne residents, guys. I think my obligation is to clean up that situation because everybody's tired of seeing this stuff. Mental health, yes, it's an issue, but not everybody wants to be housed. I work in a jail. A lot of the gentlemen that come in here to my programs, they tell me no, they're going to go back to the street. They don't like, the responsibilities of paying bills and all these other things. So they're happy out in the street. So I've heard we've had about 17 meet and greets throughout the community, throughout the corners of the city of Hawthorne, myself and 2 of the candidates. And we've heard the concerns, and it's just reached a level that it's frustrating. I know I don't want to take too much of your time, but LA County has taken over one of the hotels on Imperial Highway, the LAX Hotel. So there's dangers in certain things. Now we have cases of prostitution in front of that motel where somebody's unhoused already. So we're building a case because the thing is, like I said, my obligation is to you, the residents, to have the quality of life that you guys have been asking for. And that's my priority. And being able to see if that motel that was taken over LA County to house the homeless, if it's something that's going to help the situation, or it's going to exacerbate and make life difficult. It's probably like an Amber Alert.
It's an Amber Alert for adult.
All right. So we need to do something. We need to be responsible and with heart be able to solve the problem, but also we need to be able to make your quality of life top priority.
The homeless is a serious problem. He mentioned having to pick up feces. Yeah, I had to pick it up behind my business. And so I definitely have dealt with my share of the homeless problem. And I'd like to know, why aren't we reaching out to our neighbors? What are they doing? There's communities that are right next to us that don't have the same problem that we have. Why aren't we networking with them? Why aren't we giving them a phone call? What is it that you're doing? Because I know there's these laws, right? But that's what you do. Is you look to your networks to find out if there is a solution. I got to watch. I went to the city council meeting and I did get to watch a nice presentation that they gave, and they're doing their best. They're doing their best. But what are neighboring cities doing that maybe we could also implement here if there is anything? But if we don't enter the conversation, if we don't go to the table, if we don't make that phone call, we'll never know, and we'll continue having the same thing. Like I said, I've been walking the businesses. We're all feeling the effects, right? Especially the businesses that have any type of little markets and stuff. They're feeling the effects because that's where they're congregating, running in, taking, and leaving. So what do we do to help them? What can we do to support them? Those are the things that we need to start doing. We need to like in the military. In the military, we used to do what was called a RAM, random anti-terrorism measure, right? So me as a dog handler, I had to show up, unexpected, nobody knew, show up, and I had a bomb dog. And I would just start sweeping vehicles, anything that I wanted, because it had to be random. We could implement things. So this way, there's a show of force. There's a presence, so people it becomes a deterrent. I'm not going to do it here because I know that the cops could show up, or these people can show up, and it's not going to go good for me. Now, I'm not saying we want to hurt them, but there has to be a type of consequence. So this way, they think twice of coming back to that business, or they look at that business as that one's being taken care of. And we got to get to a point to where every business owner feels that they're being taken care of. So I do think that there's a little bit more that can be done. The state is starting to be a little bit more lenient, apply more, give more flexibility, but I think that other neighboring cities have already been doing something. So what is it that they've been doing so that they don't have that same problem that we have? Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I have one lady here that would like to get a question in, and then that's going to be the last question for the evening. When she's finished, I'd like to have you come on back, and if you have additional questions, you can ask the candidates in their various tables back here. And if you'd like to take some literature or contact information, you can do that, and we'll have about a half hour to do that before we have to vacate the premises.
Good
afternoon, everyone. My name is Letty Hernandez. I myself have been a long life resident like everybody else, and would love to be right there on the diocese as well to run. And I give you guys all, it takes a lot to be up there. We all have our different reasons why. So I'm going to start off with, we have been off the grill from the news, and now we're on positive news. Starting from Larry Greedy, Danny Juarez, and Chris Brown. You guys, we were on the news negative. Often was negative, negative, negative. But, like the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. I know we are in a positive deficit now, thanks to the cluster on board that we have right now. So thank you to the ones that are on the board right now. However, I've also heard kind of speak on what businesses want. My concern is, are you here for the businesses, or are you here for the residents who vote for you? Businesses do not live in the city. I know we do good business at will, but isn't that for the business connect or somebody else that takes care of that, business manager? It's not really the mayor or the council. And as far as affordable housing goes, we know that doesn't exist. It will never go down unless you are in the
No, I cannot. I see that.
So how do you figure to make it good for me, the resident, the one that I am right here, trying to get my grandchildren raised up in this neighborhood? What makes you think that I want to take my kid or my grandchild, because I did not put my children into the Hawthorne district. It was not good. How will you work with the Hawthorne district? I don't see the Hawthorne district and the council collaborate and above all everything else. Is that something the mayor does, the council does, or how do you figure? How do you service me, the resident, not the businesses?
I'll go first because I think that one was
Yeah,
first.
I think you need to answer that one.
So first of all, right now, in my opinion, and this is my personal opinion, is that the city and the school district don't work together because we feel the same way you feel. And so I'll leave it at that. Well, it means that there needs to be a change at the city level in order for, we have such a great working relationship at the school district, and you can visit any board meeting that you like. There's respect amongst the members. We move everything forward that we think that is right for our students. And yeah, we're not gonna fix everything. Just like at the city level, you're not gonna fix everything, but at least we try. We try. We get presented with different things, and sometimes we have to say no, sometimes we say yes. But we get the information, we trust the leaders that we put in place, and we work with them to move things forward. And at the city level, it doesn't work that way. It's been difficult. I tried creating, I had a pet extravaganza that I used to do, and it was so hard to work with the city that we moved it onto one of our schools. So sometimes it's just better for us. One second, because I don't think anyone else got interrupted.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
I think it's referring to the school district and the level of proficiency. The school has not moved up in the training for the students.
Right.
How can you bring businesses and anything to the city if the school district does not perform?
Correct.
That is the students. We're not talking about the management.
Okay.
How the students are not getting better.
Right. And so what you have to understand that COVID did a disservice to our students. Okay? And we're still trying to recover it. Right now there are studies that are conducted, and this is with schools that have even more money than us, right? Or are in other neighborhoods than us. But there's studies that have shown that each student needs an approximate 4 months extra of schooling in order to be able to catch up because of what they missed during COVID. So even though we're trying our best and we're trying to get those scores up, and you have to understand that COVID really hurt everybody, not just us, the entire country. What's that? I understand that, but we have already implemented. We are now giving our students 1 extra month a year to try to catch them up. We're also creating way more after-school programs because of the ELOP, which is the Extended Learning Opportunity monies that we have. And so we're doing our best to try to other communities. Everybody wants to move west. We see it. And I'm talking about permits, right? Everybody wants to move west. But during testing, we start getting an influx of students back here because people don't want their scores affected. Here in Hawthorne, we do it with what we can. And I understand that you're worried about that you're worried, and it's a good concern. It's a great concern. But you have to understand that we're doing our best. And it starts. One of the things that I've learned, right? Because I was a parent with my kids in the school district. One of the things that happens is the parents also have to be very supportive to their kids. It starts at home. And if the child doesn't have the support, and unfortunately that goes to something else now. It goes to both parents having to have a job these days because of the way our economy is. And so now that kid isn't getting the support, isn't working. A lot of grandparents are also having to raise children. Or their grandchildren. And so you have to understand that the issue is way deeper than just saying, oh, the test scores aren't there. It's way deeper. You're talking about 7,000 students.
Mr. Aguilar, that is a conversation that I would love to have at the board meeting. I will be more than happy to answer all of the questions. But, poor Mr. Aguilar is being bombarded with this that is not necessarily a discussion that we should have here right now. We meet every month at the school district,
Okay.
and it will be great to have you there so you can tell us.
I think you made your point, and
I believe the question was, what can the candidates do for residents over businesses?
Over businesses. So they actually come both hand in hand. Right? It's because so I own my home in Hawthorne, right? So I want to be supported, and I'm raising my family here in Hawthorne, right? But I also own a business here, and so I need to look out for everybody. And so the businesses, we shop at these different businesses, we use them, and so both have to be supported, right? Not just residents, and not just because when they had the State of the City and they had that beautiful pie that spoke about how the monies are made, it comes from taxes and fines. Who's being taxed and who's being fined? The residents and the businesses. So we're in this together, right?
okay, I think you answered the question as best you can. Does anybody else want to please hear this right now? We're out of time then. So if you all want to talk to the various candidates,
I always talk.
So just finish. Yeah.
we can give you maybe 5 minutes before we have to go.
So affordable housing is possible, right? The city of Hawthorne has real estate, we have funds to provide. There's a lot of affordable housing developers that are interested in our city. And affordable housing means a lot of different things. It can provide rents that are 30%, provide housing for people whose income are at 30% of AMI, average median income, all the way to 80%. And so you look at Arrowhead South Bay, half of that is designated for people at 80% AMI, right? So that's not low-income housing, but it is moderate income. Right, we just issued a request for proposal for developers to come and bring us low income and very low income projects or proposals to our city. And so there's a lot of things that we can do as a city to make it make sense for low income housing developers to build things that are affordable. And those things do help keep people off the street. Now when it comes to what's more important, businesses or residents, the residents are 100% come first. Right, residents come first every single time. We want to make sure that our residents are safe, and we want to make sure we take the monies that we have and we invest it into our community, into after-school programs. I agree, we do need to create better partnerships with our school district. That's absolutely a failing on the city council. That I will immediately take initiative, right, to reach out to our school board so they can see what we can do a better job at building a better relationship and supporting our students even more. But we want to make sure that the reason why we care about our business community experience is so we can generate sales tax. And ideally, we'll generate sales tax from people coming from outside the city into our city instead of the other way around. Most of us leave our city to spend money, and we put money in the pockets of those cities to take care of their residents. And we need to change that around. We need to make sure that people come to our community and enjoy the beauty of Hawthorne, generate sales tax here so we can invest it in your quality of life.
I'll piggyback off of what my colleague has mentioned. Businesses, of course, absolutely. The residents are 100% priority, and businesses are after. I think that when we bring in people, one of the things is we need good quality businesses, not just any business. And so there has to be a good standard for these people to come, and they need to meet the criteria, meet all the requirements that our planning department has laid out for them, or code enforcement of building and safety. And sometimes we have a very, very good building and safety department that goes through everything, making sure that those businesses are safe so that when you walk in, that you'll be kept safe. Okay? So sometimes when we hear, it's difficult, it's because we're doing our job. But the thing is, we need to be careful, and it's been brought up on the city council, has been discussion about how do we raise permit fees, the business license taxes, and other development impact fees. The discussion should be the opposite. I'm opposed to that, by the way. The discussion should be the opposite. How do we reduce those fees so that we can help expedite and facilitate those businesses from coming? And those talks have been coming up recently on the council, and I'd ask my colleagues to reconsider that notion. Affordable housing. One of the topics, affordable housing mixed with the concept of mixed use. A lot of developers have approached the city, and in order to get their 100-unit per acre projects in the city, in order to get those, they try to tell us that there's an element of commercial or restaurants or businesses on the first floor. That's what the mixed use. And when they build, it's a bait and switch. They don't build anything on the first floor. They didn't bring any businesses. All it was an excuse for them to be able to win over members of the city council to buy into the way you're going to get arrested. All it took was the promise of a restaurant to build these monstrosities like the ones you see over here on Monita Gardens. Drive up and down Hawthorne Rosecrans from Crenshaw down towards Prairie. Look to your right. Look at what was built over there. I was deeply opposed to those things. You can't even walk on the sidewalk because the building goes up all the way to the sidewalk. You got this much space to be able to walk over there. We can't just give in. We can't just say, okay, just for the sake of building. We got to be smart. We have to put some resistance and use every opportunity to be able to bring, if it's going to be affordable housing, let's make sure that they deliver what they're going to do. I'm not close to the idea, but we just need to have a safety net. Then, I'm an educator. I teach physics at El Camino, and I taught as a substitute teacher at Centinela Valley High School. I'm going to tell you, that was a perfect opportunity to brag about the Hawthorne School District. Do you guys know that Hawthorne Math and Science Academy is rated in the top 100 public high schools in the country? And that's because of the work of the Hawthorne School Board. That's something that you guys should have mentioned, right? And because of the success of the school board, of our own Hawthorne School Board that's responsible for Ramona School, look at all the price values, the home values that you have around here. Is that 750,000, 800,000? Maybe higher? 850? What is it? Even higher? A million? And that's a result of our schools. You guys know that that's one of the markers that determines how much the land values are dictated. So, of course, there's different jurisdictions that the school district boards have, and there's different jurisdictions that the city council has. But we as a city council, we as a city, have gladly come to the aid of our school districts by working with them on the crosswalk, the safety guards that block the people, the students across the side, across the crosswalks. And we're gladly come to the aid of our school district whenever they need some safety features and be able to facilitate and come up with a traffic safety plan. So we're there at the beck and call, but there is a clear distinction. But our school district here is awesome, and the sports, as I've seen them, are stellar. They are. Okay, so I think we just cannot just minimize that, and we need to celebrate that.
No worries, Mr. Bill Myers, no worries. However, it saddens me to think and hear that the lady that initiated this question back there, that she didn't want her children to be in the Hawthorne School District. Oh my goodness, it really saddens me. First of all, I started out as being parent to the rescue at Jefferson Elementary School, getting involved in my children teaching, meeting those teachers, knowing their background. And I was already on the parent board even to 12th grade. And I appreciate that program. And I encourage us parents to continue be in the involvement of teaching right at home, because it starts at home. Manners starts at home, how we treat these teachers. And be on that school board to implement the education and the field that these teachers have been through for us to bring them on board in our school district. I've been to different. Hawthorne School District was a wonderful school district. My children went through that school district. My son is majoring in political science. He's my campaign manager. My daughter, she's my secretary manager. She was the secretary at 6 years old when she got out of school, and we did homework together. She went through Bud Carson. She went through Hawthorne High, Jefferson Elementary, all of those schools, I was involved. I know we have to work, but everybody don't work at the same time. They sent their grandparents, which have retired, and they was on this Parent to the Rescue committee. And we saw those kids out and sent them out to be whatever they could be in the committee. And we had a voice. We had a voice of educating our children. And let's not give up on that. It's very important, because the pandemic forced us to have our kids at home. And then we had to take part in educating them ourselves. And so when school opened back up, a lot of them exceeded. The Hawthorne School District is a wonderful school district. Please start at home. Even if the parents work, let the grandparents, let the grandfathers. Grandfathers are good teachers, because they have been through a lot. They done been through a lot. And so they know and want to see the children come up and continue going through our school district. It's a wonderful school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of our